Welcome back to KSPL News. Today let's talk about Democrat Bernie Sanders at his victory speech in New Hampshire. He is currently trailing Hillary Clinton in the polls by 12.2%. Bernie Sanders is a socialist and currently serving his second term as U.S. Senate in Vermont. Before he served as senator in 2006, he was a congressman in the House of Representatives in Vermont for 16 years. After analyzing a few of his claims from his victory speech, we're going to see just how true his words really are.
During Bernie Sanders' victory speech, he made the claim, "I do not have a super PAC and I do not want a super PAC." After checking our sources, we have concluded that this is true. You might not even know what a super PAC is. Well, that's why I'm here to tell you. It's a committee that can raise and spend unlimited amounts of money. Sanders' rejection of super PACs has become a core part of his campaign that his supporters worked into their chant, saying, "We don't need a super PAC, Bernie Sanders has our back." Sanders and Donald Trump are the only major candidates without an unaffiliated super PAC.
Yes, I saw Sanders tweeted, "Unlike virtually every other campaign, we don't have a super PAC, which collects money from billionaires and corporations."
He also stated his opinion about past Republicans who have been in office. He claimed, as we all remember, the last time Republicans occupied the White House, their trickle-down economic policies drove us into the worst economic downturn since the Depression of 1930s.
So he's basically saying that the Democrats needed to remain in office because the last time we had a Republican as president, George Bush, it hurt our economy?
Yes, and I did some fact-checking on his claim and found that during George's term, the economic debt did grow 70%. However, the unemployment rate significantly grew after George Bush left office in 2008, and Obama took up the position. So I think this claim was half true.
Also during his speech, he shared a little bit about his personal life, saying, "My friends, I am the son of a Polish immigrant who came to this country speaking no English and having no money. My father worked every day of his life and he never made a whole lot. My mom and dad and brother and I grew up in a small 3.5-room rent-controlled apartment in Brooklyn, New York. My mother, who died at a very young age, always dreamed of moving out of that apartment, getting a home of her own, but she never realized that dream." We also found this to be true. Bernie did indeed grow up with little, and his mother, Dorothy Sanders, passed at a very young age. This is very sad and heartwarming knowing he's made it so far with everything he's come through. But was it really necessary for him to throw that in his speech? It sounds like he's trying to win people over by their emotions.
I can see where you're coming from. It sounds like he's using appeal to emotion, which is a common logical fallacy and a good argument strategy. At the Black American Forum in Minneapolis, Bernie Sanders was asked a single-worded question, Native people. Sanders quickly answered the question by saying, "It is a political revolution that will bring tens of millions of people together. It will bring together blacks and whites, Latinos, Asian Americans, Native Americans, straight and gay, male and female."
And in an interview with Nicole Willis, he was talking about a consultant for the Native American campaign. She explains his notable work in the 2013 Violence Against Women Act.
We found this claim to be true. Bernie Sanders is looking out for the common good of all Americans and voters.
As an attempt to win the approval of his fans, Bernie states his opinion on the current economy by saying, "We will not accept a rigid economy in which ordinary Americans work longer hours for lower wages, while almost all new income and wealth goes to the top 1%.
I do agree on how it seems like all the money that working class makes goes to the wealthy population.
And see, that's probably why Bernie Sanders is taking advantage of appealing to the popular opinion on this issue. But since 1960, working hours have actually been declining while wages have stayed constant, so this statement is only half true. However, during a recent survey, many Americans have said that they feel like the exact opposite is happening.
Well, as you can see, Bernie Sanders is a truther. He almost always tells the truth, or at least half-truth, as you can see by our pie chart, which is a great quality for someone running for president. Well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. Thanks for tuning in to KSPL News. Make sure you stay tuned for next week's episode.